Hi Capricorn, my name is Audrey Alison. Thanks for joining me for your March 2016 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful Los Angeles day. I'm so happy you're tuning in again. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, as well as your support on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. I'm using the Connolly Tarot deck by Peter and Eileen Connolly. I thought it was appropriate for Irish energy. March is here, and also the cards are very vibrant in color. Reminds me of spring. So we are using this Celtic design on the back. I have an allergy, a little bit of a cold, so bear with me on that. If I cough in the middle of the reading, which definitely has been happening. So, Capricorn, what is up? We have some astrological transits I want to get into. On the 5th of March, Mercury is exiting Aquarius and entering Pisces. And there's a lot of energy this month. It's predominantly focused on your third house of communications. So, the planet of communications and study, local travel, intellect, the mind, the planet of the vehicle and siblings, is entering your communication sector. Mercury naturally governs the third house of communication, so he loves it here for you. And you're very convincing right now, Capricorn. You have a beautiful style of communication happening. People are understanding you. Mercury is direct. There's a beautiful placement for interviewing at this time. For those of you looking for work, when Mercury is in the third house, you could sell ice to an Eskimo. So for job interviews and people who have public speaking or essays to write or publish or writing or blogging online, it's effortless with Mercury in the third. So use that to your advantage for 16 days because he's there until the 21st of March. On that same day, though, on the 5th, Mars makes a transit into Sagittarius. This is a feisty, fiery energy because Mars is the planet of fire, heading into a fire sign. He'll be conjunct Saturn, who is stationed in Sagittarius through the winter solstice of 2017. Saturn is there for 2.5 years. Saturn's limitation, his energy of maybe his harsh, scolding energy. This is your ruling planet, Saturn, in the sign of Sagittarius, in the 12th house. What a place to have it, too. I don't mind anything really disruptive placed in the 12th house because it's the house of endings, the house of quiet and rest and spirituality, the subconscious mind. Okay, going back, Mars giving energy in the 12th could actually require you to rest. In California, we have this flu going on that's pretty much an epidemic. So maybe you Capricorns have been some of the signs that have received this blessing of the flu. So rest, but also there's stimulation with Mars in the mind. Watch the dreams. Subconscious mind energy. What's dream recall? What's going on a deeper level with you? Saturn will be going through a retrograde in this sector. When he hits the 16-degree mark of Sagittarius in your 12th house, he retrogrades back to the 9-degree mark, but this retrograde starts on the 25th of March and lasts through August 13th. He's a slower guy, your ruling planet, compared to Mars, who zips in 60 days and then leaves. So where you hold Sagittarius on your natal chart, if you're not a Capricorn rising, watch your ascendant forecast. Where you hold Sagittarius between 9 and 16 degrees on your natal chart, that is your 7-degree review of Saturn, where there is a restriction in this area. He is limiting you because he wants you uncomfortable, so you make changes here. I hope this sun shining on me doesn't make it look like I'm just this white, bright bulb right now. When I edit a little bit, I'll have to see if I can fix that. But as long as you can hear me, I'm cool with it. Okay, so that 7-degree area is where you're going through the most restructuring or restriction. Pay attention to that on your natal charts. Here, it's the house for solar scopes. It's the house of rest. It's the house of release, addictions, ending. If you're still smoking cigarettes in 2016, it's time to look at that. There's so many other methods of getting that nicotine fix other than the cigarette itself that you might want to look into that. And I don't mean to come down on cigarette smokers. Trust me, we've all had our crutch at one point in life or habit. But the 12th house is a behavioral pattern house. Release those patterns that aren't working for you any longer, whatever they may be. And you'll know because the 12th house is your instinct. It's the first thing you think of when I mentioned it. Let it go, because I think you might be holding on too tight. Capricorn, with your grip, you might want to just lighten up the grip a little bit on that. Now, on the 8th of March, we have our new moon total solar eclipse. This is 18 degrees of Pisces in this third house where Mercury had entered. And so the sun and the moon will be there naturally at that time. But eclipse energy is game-changing. It's time for change. Mercury's there, but Neptune's there too. Chiron's there in Pisces. Venus is entering there a few days later on the 12th. There is going to be a change in your communication style. There could be a change in your relationship to siblings. Definitely something with the vehicle or mode of transportation, if that's going to apply to you. I don't think every single facet of the definition of the third house will apply to every Capricorn, but certain messages and bits and pieces of what I'm saying you might be able to draw from. New vehicle would totally make sense because the third house is the vehicle. And the eclipse energy eclipses things out of your life and eclipses things in. So, and also lasts a 6-month period of time. Eclipses aren't just the 28-day lunar cycle. They last much longer. So there's a newness coming in the third house. New study, new course, new schooling, some form of local travel, a new residence close by even. I've seen that apply to the third, even though it's not typically the house of home. It's the local area and local neighborhood. So there might be a new attraction in that area in your neighborhood that's important to you, that's being built or just recognized at that time. On the 12th, Venus then enters this third house. So you're smoothing over the communication style. This is a beautiful placement for public speaking and study and schooling. For those of you who work online, blogging, writing, journaling, journalists, educators, instructors, beautiful transit. Also great for clients, gaining more female clients. The Venus representing the female in the third house of contacts and communication. So you might notice that you have 30 days worth of female energy, female clients coming in. On the 20th, Happy New Year for those of you astrologers and people who follow the wheel. It's the 20th of March, and this is the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. Happy spring. And it's the time of beginnings. Everything starts in Aries. And the 20th of March is the 9 o'clock hand on an astrological wheel. That is the beginning of the whole wheel. So it is our new year, and it's the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere. So this is really beautiful to start any positive intentions you want to take action on. It's the cardinal ingress. The cardinal signs being Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. So take action around this time. It's important to start fresh. Anything you're carrying in past the 20th of March tends to stick throughout the year. So if you're really interested in knocking some things out of your life, or just not carrying the burden of problems with you throughout the year, it's time to focus on release in the 12th house that you were hit up with in the beginning of the month with Mars. Okay. So the sun entering Aries, though, represents your 4th house of home. the mother, the maternal energy, the foundation. Some of you might start new relationships with your mother at this time. Some of you could connect with her in spirit at this time as well. The day later, on the 21st, Mercury, quickly exiting out of Pisces into Aries, into the 4th house of home. If you're looking for a new residence, it's spectacular time after the vernal equinox to find that place. Mercury, communication, review, the mind, study, communication, contacts, clients, local travel. You might just be moving in your neighborhood. You might want to switch up the environment, the 4th house of home. Or you might be considering where you came from and going back to your roots a little bit on how to do things, drawing from your past path in order to move forward. On the 23rd, we have our full moon lunar eclipse at 3 degrees of Libra. Another cardinal sign, that cardinal energy. It's time for action. And the eclipses are what's up because they want you to change. It's catalyst time. It's get moving, and no need to remain stuck in something any longer. This lunar eclipse, full moon, culmination, ending awareness in the 10th house of career, in the 10th house of retirement, recognition, status, name change. Maybe some of you Capricorns are ending the job at this time and actually considering retirement, moving on completely. The full moon could see you exiting the career sector and moving on to something else. Let's see what comes up in the tarot. I've been shuffling the whole reading. So let's see what comes up for Capricorn for March 2016. I just wanted to tell you, if you'd like a personal, accurate reading that applies only to you, you can book with me at audreyalison.com with 1 L. And I was asked back again as a special guest on Goddess Alive Radio on February 25th. I'm sure I'll get these uploaded by then. It's a goal of mine to get these up a little bit earlier. February 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call in and get a free tarot taster with me. And the number I'll provide on my website, and Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot on Facebook. Motherhouseofthegoddess.com will have all the details. You should check out that site as well. So let's see what comes up for you, Capricorn, for March. Knight of Pentacles. This is a Capricorn male, earth sign male. The knights tend to rush in very quickly, and he is protecting your health and your wealth. Love this card. The colors are so deep. Lots of purples and lavenders too. I love it. Okay, let's see what else comes up. 7 of Swords. There might be some restrictions and limitations that you are creating here. The swords rule the mind. The swords are the thoughts, the intellect. There's some restriction with this card, and I'll get to an explanation when I pull more of them. 3 of Swords. This is some suffering, some pain, and you feeling like you might have lost out or lost something, either tangible or emotional. Let's see what else. This card is coming up a lot, and it's the last card, and it was the last card in a few readings ago, Materialism. It's the Death card in the tarot, but it's a card of change and a card of you feeling bound, what you're bound to, what you're enslaved to. Are you thinking you're lacking financially? This is an 8th house card. It's a house of change, regeneration, rebirth. Don't be enslaved to materialism, because your health and your wealth are protected. You know what, Cat? You have to come from, if you're coming from a a lack mentality, mentally, the swords cards being your thoughts. What you think will occur. If you are thinking nothing's working out for you financially, that's what you're manifesting. Nothing's working out for you financially. If you switch and reprogram the default system of your brain to suggest that everything works for you effortlessly and abundantly, then that's what happens to you. Things start happening effortlessly and abundantly. That's the secret of life. It sounds like bullshit, but it's the reality of how we are programmed. We have a lot of power. Our minds are stronger than our physical selves. People can heal themselves with just their mind. And I know that it's hard to believe in sometimes, because when you're stuck in the pattern of lack mentality, it's hard to get out of. But there is change coming, and that's what the eclipses are for. Eclipses don't tolerate things that aren't working anymore. They pick people up and they change it. They're saying, no, get out of the rut, Cap. Get out of the rut that you've created. Trip on that. Trip on that. I know I'm not trying to blame anybody, and I want to remain super positive in my readings. I'm not blaming you for your own... Well, maybe I am. You are responsible for your life. Life is not happening to you. Life is responding to you. This definitely is a channeled message. If you've lost relatives or family, okay, there's a real strong energy. This is not going to apply to everyone. I'm hearing Margaret. I also feel like this is a saint energy, or there's a Catholic energy or a sainted energy. If you've lost someone, particularly by the name of Margaret, if you've lost someone to a disease or a health crisis, don't get stuck on the fact that they're no longer here. Know that they're very much alive in spirit. I know the atheists are going, no, boo, they're not. But look, I've seen way too many things in the cold light of day to know that there are spirit activity. If you've lost someone, know that they're still very much around you. Try to see it in a positive way. See that they can work for you now on the other side. Margaret came through very strongly, and I'm not sure what the Catholicism was about, but perhaps it's relating to her. Sandra, okay, bear with me, Sandra, and they're not as far away from you as you think. In fact, they're gunning for you. It's like you've got a support system. And the Death card here, people might have passed. The Three of Swords next to the materialism, it can be about spirit and changing in seeing it in a painful way. Look at it as if now you've got your angels. Oh, and now you've got your saints too. I hope this was helpful for you, Capricorn. I'm wishing you all the best in March. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.